Minister also admit statement by honorable members in accordance with Order 93. Bills, papers, and report. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 159, bills may be presented to the House for first reading. However, those of urgent nature may be taken through various stages in the day in accordance with Order 160. Pursuant to Order 97, papers may be laid during the week and reports from committee may also be presented to the House for consideration. Motions and resolutions. Mr. Speaker, motions may be debated and there are consequential resolution, if any, taken during the week. Debate on the message on the state of the nation by His Excellency the President. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee would like to use this opportunity to remind honorable members of the ongoing debate on the message of the state of the nation delivered by His Excellency the President of the Republic and urges all honorable members to contribute to the debate. The debate on the message on the state of the nation will continue next week, and the majority and minority leaders will conclude on Wednesday, the 11th of March, 2026. Sitting time and extended sittings. Mr. Speaker, having regards to the exigencies of time, the Business Committee recommends that the House commences sitting on Mondays, starting from the 9th of March, 2026, that is next Monday. This Monday, it is proposed that the House will sit from 10 a.m. in the morning and closes at 2 p.m. to clear the backlog of statement and continue with the debates on the message of the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 2162 and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken during the week. Mr. Speaker, I ask the Hansard to capture the entire report. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, business statement ably presented. It is now time for comment. Honourable members, any comment? Yes, Deputy Minority Leader.
Right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. With regards to the Monday sitting, I'd like us to re-emphasize that Monday sitting is for statements, and any member who absents, one is yourself, your statement will be scrapped off. So we want all members to be present and take up their statements as is being done. So that emphasis must be known.
Well, there is addition to the business statement which we are accepting, that if you have a statement on that Monday and you did not make yourself available to make the statement, it will be taken to have been forfeited. You will not be given any further opportunity to make the statement. So members who have statements are duly notified to make themselves present and to be given the opportunity to make the statement. Any further comments? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest to leadership if they could schedule the Energy Minister to brief us on our energy security in light of what is happening in Iran and Israel, if it's possible. If we just brief us.
Honorable member.
Question for if you can come and brief us.
No, it's been maintained here severally that you have the tool to bring any minister to Parliament. to either come and answer a question or you make a statement that the minister is supposed to come and answer. Statement by a minister as governed by the rules or ceremonial statement as in 91, order 91 and 92 are voluntary. That is my understanding. Statements generally are voluntary. So what means are they going to use to compel a minister to come here to come and make a statement? By the rules, nobody can be forced, not even a member of parliament can be forced to make a statement.
Mr. Speaker, I've witnessed on several occasions where suggestions have been made to the business committee.
We maintain that using a business statement to say that invite a minister to come and make a statement. What of if the minister is not ready to come and make the statement? But if you ask an urgent question for the minister to come here and answer, the minister will come and answer the question. Statements generally are voluntary in nature.
Mr. Speaker, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm saying this is not the first time we are getting that support.
Yes, so we are telling you that it is wrong.
Has been asking ministers to come and brief us all the time.
It is wrong.
Yes. See, Mr. Speaker. The firm report on several occasions
You see,
has
let's use
requested
the
the business
parliamentary
committee to schedule ministers to brief us in this house. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Sule.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank the leader for this business statement and to make an appeal on behalf of the Muslim community that on the 10th of this month, we intend to have our Laylatul Qadr. That is the night of power. And so if it is possible for us to sit in the morning and then close in the afternoon, it will give us the room to be able to prepare for that event. And so I want to make a passionate appeal to leadership so that they can do that adjustment for us.
On Monday?
That's on the 10th.
That's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday 10th.
Yes. Thank you.
Very well. Yes, you have the floor.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. My concern is with the information that is uploaded onto the console. I must commend leadership for diligently uploading all necessary information. Unfortunately, members would agree with me that the font sizes are too tiny, and the console is also a distance from where we sit. My plea is to suggest that the IT department increases the font size. You can only increase up to 190, which still remains very, very tiny with most of the prints. So if something could be done about it so that we could read from the position where we stand or sit, we would be grateful.
That's a good observation, particularly to help those of us who are optically challenged. Any further comments?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the business statement, I want to commend the leadership. So, Mr. Speaker, sitting time and extended sitting, it has been recommended by the business committee that we sit on Monday so we can take care of some very pressing business and then continue with the discussion on the State of the Nation address. Mr. Speaker, I want to also use this opportunity to recommend or urge the business committee that if they can work on the timing for the submission from 5 minutes for ordinary members to 10 minutes, since we are now moving the sitting time so we can have ample time to make comments on the business statement. Mr. Speaker, the 5 minutes is woefully inadequate. You can see from both sides. And it really and truly do not even allow members to have the opportunity to even explain one point of theirs, making everything in a rush. So if they are asking the House to sit on Monday and then now sit from 10 a.m., then we would also employ that the rest and the subsequent speakers can have 10 minutes, ordinary ranking, deputy ranking, or chairman can have some input time to make their point. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any further comment?
Speaker, that is so. Speaker, just to inform the House that the Health Minister has indicated his availability on Monday to take his questions. So just to alert the Business Committee to program him for Monday, the questions, because I see that Monday is because of, we were not sure. So we didn't slate any questions for Monday. So his questions can be slated for Monday. So that in addition to the statements, we can take questions, and if we have time, we can take some debaters for within the 4 hours that we intend to sit on Monday, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Very well. Yes, Honorable Consenyaku.
The Speaker, thanks for indulging me. The Speaker, looking at the number of questions programmed and considering the huge backlog of questions that we have, I, with all due respect to the committee, if they can find a way of increasing the numbers. Yesterday, we were given the agenda for this meeting, for the session, I think. As Speaker, I realized that a lot of questions are astounding. So if we could be a bit more efficient by programming more questions so that we can clear the backlog within a reasonable time. So this is a special plea to the committee if they could find a way of letting us have more questions to ask. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the reason why we decided to sit on Mondays is precisely what Honorable just mentioned, for us to be able to clear backlogs, not only questions, but also statements. And then, of course, the debate hasn't finished. The debate will finish on Wednesday, where the leaders will conclude. So we'll have an opportunity to get more people. Again, the issue of time as to how many minutes should be, allocated to members, it's been basically looked at and see what ordinary members will do and ranking and others. So for the same reason, so we can get more people to be able to stand on the floor and contribute to the debate. We have over 270 people here. If everybody wants to debate and we are to give them 10 or 15 minutes to do that, we probably will not be able to finish the debate next week. So I think you should bear with us so that you try and compress the things that we are presenting in such a way that we'll be able to use the time allotted, wisely. On the issue of the energy minister coming to brief us, I thought we were talking about a war here. And you did ask for the defense minister, but the energy minister. Of course, I know the implications, with oil and all that. But the minister doesn't determine what the global price of oil will be. So if you ask him to come and brief you, I don't know whether you are looking for a forecast of what you think the oil price will be in the future or not. But I really don't. I really don't get exactly what you want the energy minister, but not the defense minister, if you want to talk about war. Okay, right. I think we'll take my brother's plea for the Muslims on the 10th, which is Tuesday. Yeah, into consideration, to try and make sure that we're able to work within a time that will allow them to worship. Front size of, I do agree that I think the font size sometimes is a bit too small, but I will urge my honorable brother. I had the same problem to check your eyes and check your glasses. maybe you are due for review. So, but we'll look at looking at the font size. I've had the same problem. So I do share your pain. Coming in on Monday, so we'll have to, put the health minister in. But we need to cut the questions and the follow-ups a bit short so we can do a lot more. Most of the backlog we have is as a result of the time that we waste in some of these things. I'm not saying people should not ask their question, but I think sometimes we move away from exactly, what we've asked our questions on, and an awful lot of time is spent in a way that probably could have been used differently. So I think some of the questions are related, and the last one I have here is to do with backlog, which I have already answered. So, Mr. Speaker, I think these are the answers to the questions that were asked. Thank you.
Honourable members, business statement as presented, subject to those modifications, is hereby adopted. Honourable members, permit me to acknowledge the presence of students from Leading Star Academy, led by Reverend E.O. Ochridako, Director. They are from Wejagbawe constituency, the number 60. We have Laura Senior High School, led by Barrow Primus, Headmaster. They are from Laura, the number 70. We also have students from Sebreco Alto Academy, led by Samuel Apedo Delali, a teacher. They are from Tema West, the number 34. We also have Akim Suedro Senior High School, led by Kinsley Adolfo Petron. They are from Akim Suedro, the number 70. We have Christ Reign Montessori, led by Felice Yeni, administrator. They are from Anya Suotum, the number 66. We have Valiant Ensign, led by Jimama Dokua. Is it by the Besin, Chief Executive Officer? They are from Gomoa West, the numbered 43. Honourable members, on your behalf, I welcome all of them to Parliament of Ghana and urge them to have a fruitful visit to Parliament. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I've just cited the Minister for Gender here, so I think we can go to the questions for the Minister of Gender to answer them.
Question time. Honourable members, the Minister responsible for Gender, Children and Social Protection is here. May I ask her to take the designated seat as I call on Honorable Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Ronis to pose question number 678.
Mr. Speaker, I have the authority of the honourable member to ask the question on her behalf.
Very well, please do.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection the current status of investigations into the domestic violence case involving Harriet Amuzu, a 32-year-old woman from Ofanko.
Well, the question numbered 678 is to act as the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection when the AU Convention on Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls will be ratified and domesticated by the Parliament of Ghana.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. I asked the question on behalf of Ms. Gloria. I don't have the permission of Ms. Gloria. I have the permission of Senator. I have the permission of Senator, not Ms. Gloria.
You have authority or permission?
I have the authority of Honorable Senator, not Gloria. Sorry about that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection when the AU Convention on the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls will be ratified and domesticated by the Parliament of Ghana.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to thank the honorable member for her sustained advocacy on this critical issue. Mr. Speaker, the protection of women and girls from all forms of violence remains central to government's commitment to human rights, gender equality, and inclusive development. Accordingly, the ratification of the African Union Convention on the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls is a priority for the ministry. I am pleased to inform this August House that the ministry has commenced the requisite processes towards ratification. Recognizing the national importance of this instrument, the ministry has initiated processes to engage stakeholders to solicit broad-based support for the ratification of the protocol. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, you would have heard the President at the AU meeting in Addis Ababa this month that his commitment to the ratification is not in question. Mr. Speaker, I wish to assure the honorable member and this House that the ministry is diligently navigating the necessary legal and administrative processes and remains committed to achieving the ratification of the African Union Convention on the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls. I thank you.
Any supplementary question?
No, Mr. Speaker, since the minister has assured this House, I don't have a follow-up question.
Very well. Yes, Honorable Kinsunyako.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, I would like to find out from Honorable Minister if there is a limit within which we should get this ratification done, and also the legal and administrative processes that you've initiated. When do you think you get this done? Thanks.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honorable member for the question. I think Ghana wished to be the first to ratify. As we speak, none of the nations or countries have ratified. But beyond the ratification, I believe strongly, as the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has stated, it's important that we get the buy-in of all Ghanaians and all critical stakeholders. And so the consultative process is as important as the ratification. And so we're going to ensure that this year, as we've been given the charge, to ensure that it is ratified. We'll work with all of you, this August House, all Ghanaians and all other stakeholders to ensure that this year we get it ratified. Thank you.
We'll then move to question number 677, standing in the name of Honorable Gloria Owusu, Member of Parliament for Tobo.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I have the authority of the said member of
Please
Parliament.
go ahead.
I am grateful. I rise to ask the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection the current status of investigations into the domestic violence case involving Harriet Amuzu, a 32-year-old woman from Ofanko.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Honourable Member for the opportunity to update this House on the matter. According to information from the Attorney General's Department, the accused person was granted bail by the Circuit Court. However, the state successfully applied for a protection order in favor of the victim, as well as a restraining order prohibiting the accused and his associates from contacting her. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to inform the House that the police have concluded investigations into the case. The accused has formally been charged with the following offenses: A, causing harm contrary to Section 69 of the Criminal Offences Act. B, threat of death contrary to Section 75 of the Criminal Offences Act. And this is on 2 counts. C, physical abuse, that's physical assault, contrary to Sections 1BI and 3.2 of the Domestic Violence Act. And then D, sexual abuse, contrary to Sections 1BII and 3.2 of the Domestic Violence Act. E, inhumane or degrading treatment, contrary to Sections 1BI and 3.2 of the Domestic Violence Act. Mr. Speaker, the next hearing of the case is scheduled for 17th March 2026. The ministry continues to give the necessary assistance to the victim in terms of psychosocial support, counseling, and other protective or protection measures as required. Thank you.
Any supplementary question?
No, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the last paragraph of the Minister's response, with your kind permission, I will read it. She said the next hearing of the case is scheduled for 17th March 2026. The ministry continues to give the necessary assistance to the victim in terms of psychosocial counseling and other protection measures as required. I would like to find out from the minister, what are the other protection measures? Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, as my honourable member may be aware, the ministry, when we talk about the protection, we are talking about economic empowerment and other things that will, such as counseling, the psychosocial support, that will limit vulnerability. And so we're not talking of the physical protection, that is the mandate of the police, but we are talking about economically making her or giving her that empowerment to be able to stand on her feet and fend for the children. And the children are also our key concern. Thank you.
Honourable members, this is a big platform. So you want the detailed economic empowerment to be said on air? Benefits that she has received, is that what we want to put on air? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think there's nothing wrong putting it out in the public domain.
We Ghanaians believe that if the left hand has done something to the right, there's no mention in public. You see, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I think that it's important we let our country folks know exactly what the government is doing. Sometimes we have to let people know that the state takes care of its own. And so for this peculiar situation, if the minister is able to put it out there, I think that it's a boost to government. It's a boost.
Yes, so the minister rightly indicated what they are doing. But the intendment of the question is for the minister to go into specifics, which I think may be unfair to the beneficiary. If it is you, please. Yes?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I do agree with you that in as much as the honorable gentleman wants to know, it would not be fair to put that on air for precisely what you said, the beneficiaries. And I think you asked a question that if it were to be him, would he want that? And I don't think that would be fair. So I will suggest that we don't give the specifics on this. Thank you.
Well, in the absence of any further supplementary question, we move to question number 679, standing in the name of same Honorable Gloria Owusu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I believe the authorization still holds.
Yes.
I'm grateful. Mr. Minister.
It's not Mr.
Sorry, Madam Minister. I would like to know the measures the ministry or your ministry has put in place to reduce the increasing cases of domestic violence in the country.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the ministry has adopted a comprehensive approach encompassing policy and legal reform, prevention and survival support services for domestic violence. With respect to policy and legal reforms, the ministry has revised the 2007 National Policy and Plan of Action on Domestic Violence Policy to ensure alignment with evolving local and global realities. The revised policy and plan of action received cabinet approval on 22nd of April 2025. The ministry is also reviewing the Domestic Violence Act 2007 at 732 and proposed to be retitled the Domestic Abuse Act. The review seeks to expand definition of abuse to address emerging trends, including technology-facilitated abuse. The accompanying legislative instrument, LI 2237, and the National Policy and Plan of Action on Domestic Violence are also under review to ensure alignment with evolving local and global realities. On programmatic interventions, the ministry, through the Department of Social Welfare and in collaboration with partners, conducts nationwide sensitization programs on domestic violence and related laws. Over 300 selected market executives have been trained on the Domestic Violence Act, the Children's Act, and human and women's rights and legal aid services. These individuals serve as community paralegals and conduct awareness activities in major markets, including Agbogbloshing, Madina, Nima, Teshi, Kaneshi, and Domi in Greater Accra, as well as markets across the Volta, Western, Bono, Northern, and Upper East regions. Furthermore, key service providers, including Judiciary, Ghana Health Services, the Ghana Health Service, Department of Social Welfare, and the Domestic Violence and Victims Support Unit, have all been trained on the essential services package for women and girls subject to violence to ensure coordinated multi-sectorial responses. Over 100 professionals, including clinical psychologists, Ghana Health Service personnel, and officials of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, have been trained to provide psychosocial support to survivors. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, in collaboration with UNFPA, the ministry established a 24-hour toll-free helpline, the Orange Support Center, to receive reports of domestic sexual and gender-based violence. Cases are tried and referred to appropriate agencies for action. In urgent cases, the Domestic Violence Fund is utilized to support medical care and provide safe accommodation. Complementary WhatsApp and SMS platforms have also been established to facilitate reporting. Public education campaigns as ongoing through media platforms, churches, markets, and schools. Additionally, the ministry facilitates access to medical care, psychosocial counseling, legal aid, shelter services, reintegration support, and social welfare assistance for survivors. The ministry has renovated its shelter facility in Accra to ensure a safe and dignified environment for survivors undergoing rehabilitation. Mr. Speaker, these interventions reflect holistic and sustained commitment to combating domestic violence and protecting vulnerable persons. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Honorable Minister, it is refreshing to know that finally there is a new, there's going to be a new bill which will be passed into law to tackle all the challenges of Act 732. My only concern is, can you tell this House how soon we're going to receive this bill or the timelines for this journey? I'm grateful.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As we speak, the bill is at the AG's office, finalizing to receive it for cabinet approval. So we are hoping that this year, the House, this August House, will approve it or pass it. Thank you.
Any further question?
I'm grateful. There will be no further questions.
Yes, Honorable Kinsinyako.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for the elaborate responses she's provided. However, I'm impressed about attempts the ministry has put in place to train market women on the Domestic Violence Act and also the Children's Act. However, I think that the numbers trained so far are inadequate, only 300. Are there plans to increase this number so that more women will benefit from this training? And when do you intend to roll out any plan expansion of the numbers? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Honorable Speaker, this is an ongoing project, and so we have targeted training that also becomes like a TOT, trainer of trainers. Then they also go down there to train other people. When you look at the list of people or officers I mentioned, these are like frontline officers who provide direct services to the survivors. The market sensitization is an ongoing thing. As we speak, there are officers on the field. You will hear, even from next week, a lot of sensitization program going on, right from Ada to up north. And so it is something that is ongoing. Sometimes with the specific trainings, it will be difficult to even quantify. But when you are looking at the places, so for instance, when I mention Agbubloshi Market, it will be difficult to mention the number of women that have been sensitized. But when I'm talking about Shraj, I can say we brought this number of officers because they are frontline service providers to be trained to also offer further training. So yes, your concerns have been taken on board. We will do the expansion and update the House as and when it is necessary. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
My last question has to, so looking at the countries you've engaged citizens
Honorable
training,
Kisirinyako,
you've done
with all
six
due
readings.
respect, advent your mind to Standing Order 88.7.
Mr. Speaker, my question is just simple. She's done 6 regions. It's left with 10 regions.
Let me read Order 88.7. Because you do this repeatedly. A member in asking a question shall not address the House, raise any argument, or offer an opinion. So during the time of questioning, you proceed to ask question. You don't address, you don't raise any argument, you don't offer an opinion.
Speaker,
you do nothing but you ask question.
Speaker, with respect, I didn't raise any opinion. I just wanted to avert her mind to the fact that she's done the training in 6 regions. It's left with 10 regions per what I've read in the document. So this is not an opinion.
So are you asking question?
My question is the outstanding 10 regions, when is she going to rope them into the training? This is simple.
Now that you are asking question, then I can ask the minister to answer. Minister, your answer. That is a question. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Actually, these are samples or examples of regions that have been covered, but we've done nationwide. As you know, the ministry has been in existence for a very long time. Now we're focusing and doing targeted training. We are covering everywhere. We have regional officers who are on the grounds in all 16 regions. When you go to the RCCs, you'll find them. And so maybe I can give you updates beyond what I'm providing to the House if you need them. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the minister's answer, she said utilization of the Domestic Violence Fund. I would like to find out from her the criteria set for individuals to access the Domestic Violence Fund.
Please file a fresh question. She will bring all the criteria.
Mr. Speaker.
And come and answer.
Mr. Speaker, it's in the answer.
Okay, what's the case?
She mentioned a fund. So if you want to know the criteria in assessing the fund, file a fresh question.
Mr. Speaker,
she will come and answer.
Mr. Speaker, before due respect, she said the Domestic Violence Fund is utilized to support medical care and provide safe accommodation.
So you are asking of a criteria for assessing. I'm saying that if the criteria is A, B, C, D, file a question and the minister will bring the criteria as an answer.
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable member, I intend not to argue with you. If you don't have any other question, can you resume your seat? Honourable members, we've come to the end of question time. On your behalf, I thank the minister for attending upon the House to respond to the question scheduled for her. Honourable Minister, thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we'd like to go to statement, item number 8 on the page 3 of the other paper. But I wanted to pray with you because my understanding has come to my attention that Sunday is an International Women's Day. So Honorable Tozu wants to make a commemorative statement, which I have brought to your attention to see if you grant it. So it's at your discretion before we start the debate on the SUNA. Thank you.
Honorable members, I have a cause to complain that normally whips transmit statement or recommend statement. But on this particular occasion, on same subject matter, various whips transmitted more than 6 statements instead of recommending one to be taken and others reducing their own into a comment on the statement. Every statement on the subject matter has been transmitted. So if you admit statement in that particular manner, if a statement is made, who then will comment on the statement? So it is advisable when you have a multiple statement on same subject matter, you meet your side and agree on one person to make the statement and others will reduce their own into comments. So I will call on Honorable Reverend Helen Adjoa Ntoso to make the statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to deliver a statement in commemoration of the International Women's Day, observed globally on the 8th of March each year. International Women's Day, championed worldwide by the United Nations, is a moment to celebrate the achievements of women and girls, while reflecting on the progress made and the work that remains in advancing gender equity. It is a day that calls us not only to words, but to renewed commitment and action. Right Honorable Speaker, the theme for this year's celebration, rights, justice, action for all women and girls, challenges us to accelerate progress towards gender equity and the empowerment of women and girls. In Ghana, this call resonates deeply with our agenda for gender equity and the empowerment of women and girls. It also aligns with the Global Development Agenda of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 4, 5, 8, 10, and 16. Women constitute a significant proportion of our population and play indispensable roles in our homes, communities, public service, agriculture, business, academia, and governance. Ghana's parliament has enacted key legislation to safeguard the rights and dignity of women, including the Domestic Violence Act, the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2024, Act 1121, and other social protection frameworks that promote equity and inclusion. Mr. Speaker, we acknowledge the strides Ghana has made in promoting gender equity and women's empowerment. Yet we recognize the persistent challenges that hinder the full realization of rights and justice for all women and girls, be it access to education, economic opportunities, or protection from violence. We call on this August House to once again champion bold actions towards legislative reforms to strengthen laws that protect women's rights and address systemic inequalities, prioritizing funding for programs that tackle gender-based violence, enhance girls' education and support women entrepreneurs, and ensuring accountability by holding institutions responsible for promoting inclusive policies and practices. Right Honorable Speaker, gender equity is not a women's issue alone. It is a national development imperative. When women are educated, families thrive. When women have access to economic opportunities, poverty declines. When women participate meaningfully in decision-making, governance becomes more inclusive and responsive. Therefore, empowering women is not an act of charity. It is a strategic investment in Ghana's future. I also take this opportunity to commend Ghanaian women in public office, including female honorable members of this August House, for their resilience and leadership. Their presence in Parliament and other decision-making spaces sends a powerful message to young girls across the country that leadership is not defined by gender, but by competence, integrity, and service. On this day, Mr. Speaker, I wish to specifically celebrate one of the distinguished daughters of our land, Dr. Mrs. Clara Kolaga Berry Kesati, from Manyoro in the Kasina Nankana district of the Upper East region. On 10 February this year, she made history as the first woman to graduate with a PhD in law from the University of Ghana School of Law since the university's establishment in 1948. Dr. Mrs. Kesati's success showcases brilliance, resilience, and dedication that will inspire countless young Ghanaian girls to pursue their dreams without limits. Her story proves what can happen when barriers are broken down. She truly embodies this year's theme, where rights are respected, justice is pursued, and genuine actions create lasting change. Mr. Speaker, let us harness this moment to amplify voices, dismantle barriers, and drive collective action. Together we can forge a Ghana where every woman and girl enjoys her rights, has access to justice, and contributes fully to our nation's progress. Let us also turn rights into reality, justice into action for all women and girls. Happy International Women's Day to our incredible women out there. Your strength, resilience, and contributions matter. Your voice is powerful, and your dreams are valid. Keep pushing boundaries, supporting each other, and breaking barriers. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the...
Honourable members, that's the statement ably made. It's now time for comment.
Mr. Speaker, I think we've agreed that we will do 2-2. So
Very well.
To afford us time to be able to get into the debate.
When I indicated to you that I have received about 6 or 7 statements, won't the makers as well reduce their statement into comment?
Mr. Speaker, if they are all here, then
Very well.
maybe at your discretion.
Very well.
You can.
So we take it into consideration. If they are not here, we take 2-2.
Yes.
The floor is now open. Yes, Honourable Zanato.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to make a comment on the statement ably made by the Honourable Helen Ntosu. Mr. Speaker, indeed, the issue of rights, justice, and action for all women and girls, as is the theme for this year's International Women's Day, is really important from the point of view that we need to move away from tokenism and paying lip service and really put actionable steps in place to restore balance in our societies by dismantling the structures that block women's equality and equity, not just in this country, but across the continent and across the world. Mr. Speaker, in terms of what we as a House can do, we need to take seriously and commit to gender mainstreaming of all budgets that come before the House. Some countries on the continent, like Uganda, have done so, and the rules they have set for themselves are that they will not allow budgets to be passed unless they satisfy the criteria of gender mainstreaming. And if we truly mean to go beyond lip service when it comes to what we want to do to elevate women's status and create that balance, I believe that as a House, we ought to take seriously the issue of gender mainstreaming our budgets as a first step towards our commitment to make this a reality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Zuwera.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this statement made by the Chairperson of the Gender Select Committee of Parliament, Honorable Helen Ntosu. Mr. Speaker, we all know that women and gender issues remain topical only because so far we have not been able to achieve parity. Mr. Speaker, it becomes incumbent on us, especially as members of parliament, especially as leaders in our communities, leaders in government, to ensure that we take actions that will reduce this phenomenon from an annual ritual of statements to actions that we can concretely show to improve the equity and parity issues that we seek. Mr. Speaker, first of all, if you look at all our brothers, our husbands, our fathers, if they never tell their life story without mentioning their mother, none of them would be able to say that they made it all without their mother. In most instances, we hear stories about mothers selling their clothes, selling their jewelry, literally sacrificing to bring up the children. As women, I think we need to begin to look at that side of the narrative. We want to hear young girls say that their mother sold their last jewelry to make sure that they went to school. Education, whether we like it or not, remains the one single bridge between poverty and advancement. It remains the bridge between enhancement, exposure, and ability to access opportunities. I want to use today, on the occasion of the International Women's Day, to celebrate all our mothers, all our grandmothers, all our sisters, and all our daughters, especially those who have had opportunity to progress in their careers and professions. Let's turn back and look at what we can do individually, one at a time, and see what the incremental benefits will be for our daughters. Mr. Speaker, allow me to use this period to celebrate this young girl from my constituency of Salaga South, who I picked up after her SHS examinations, enrolled her in the University of Development Studies to pursue a physician assistant program. She graduated top class and was the overall best student of the UDS. She comes from Salaga. I want us to take this as a project. She's called Fatimata Alhassan. She was the best female student in the last graduation that the UDS held. So, Mr. Speaker, there's opportunity girls. Some of the girls are just looking for who holds their hand, who answers their telephone calls, who makes sure that their school fees are paid, who makes sure that they're able to afford the transport that takes them to school. And the sky is their limit. We will celebrate, continue to celebrate Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, the first female vice president of this country. I was lucky to be a student in Cape Coast University, so I know what she's made of. She remains the role model. Let's work towards achieving more than we already have. Let's work towards making a first female president of Ghana very soon. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Dr. Freer.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I rise to associate myself with this maker of the statement. Mr. Speaker, I would want to use the opportunity to celebrate women wherever they are and the contributions they keep making to society. This year's theme is Balance the Scale. Mr. Speaker, we need to consciously walk the talk with the attempts for women to seek equality and the struggle or the fight for that liberation and recognition without much biases. Mr. Speaker, many of us have given birth a lot of, many of us, whether destiny or not, our children, a lot of them are females. So we are in a position to really look forward to the future and see what must be done to really balance the scales. Maybe we keep talking about their political inclusion, but it's not only about that. A lot of women are excelling economically, and then also culturally they are there. But the public services, I think we should begin to start looking at the Public Services Commission to put pressure on the Public Services Commission to bring meaning to the fight. Sometimes people mistake it as female inclusion or women's celebration or growth means should be politics. Yes, political representation, we must make all we can for women's inclusion and the numbers to be increased. But then also in the public services, those who conduct interviews to grant access to jobs and for that matter, persons to be employed. Are we making headway there? Are we seeing constructively that if 100 people are employed, some 40% are women? I'm not seeing that. Because if you go to a lot of the public sectors, the faces you see, many of them are not women. And I'm trying to use the opportunity in balancing the scale to highlight the public service sector. The political light is there. We'll continue to put pressure on the political parties to get women to come in here to advocate so there will be more inclusion. But also this day, if we are indeed balancing the scale, then we lose, Mr. Speaker, to look at the public services. Constructive effort would have to be made. Again, I celebrate women because I stand here because a woman looked at me and said that, yes, I want you to be the kind of politician you have to be, and there's no need for you to go and live in the Americas. She was the MP for my constituency, Grace Coleman, trained in Wesley Girls, studied in Harvard, had opportunity under Lehman to be High Commissioner to the Netherlands, eventually became a Deputy Minister of Finance under President Kufuor, was a Member of Parliament for Fijazia Sokori from 1996 to 2009, 7th January. She grew me up, being a personal assistant to her right from 1999. I had opportunity as a young medical doctor after school, looking into my future, having come through student politics. She looked me in the face and said, there's no other place for you to be than home. I know you are capable, but being a student leader for long, be here, better your lot politically, sharpen yourself, and one day I would want to see you take my place. Mr. Speaker, I don't have a godfather, but I always have had a godmother. And therefore, I'm always interested in women growing up and women having their respective places. Women, today I associate myself with you, but for you taking care of me at home, and for you also seeing me and seeing that the need for me to also grow myself in a way that I find myself into this house. But for a woman, I wouldn't have been able to achieve that. So I make this and I should associate myself to this and encourage the many people who are looking at me today that indeed we should walk the talk. And now many of us have children who are women or girls. So are we going to just do lip services here? As we sit here as legislators, evaluate yourselves and see your homes, how you want your children to be and where they have to be, so that we can begin to balance the scales in good faith. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak on this statement. Thanks.
I will give the floor to the Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to thank the maker of the statement for bringing to light what we all know as the issues that confront our nation that we need to face head on and ensure that the issues of gender equality, the issues of equity, the issues that confront the many women of Ghana and beyond are actually planned for. Beyond the planning, they are budgeted for, so that the things we say are not just words, but we can actually commit resources to them to see them done. Today, I celebrate all women of Ghana and the good women of Krowo, my constituency. I also want to celebrate all the he for she's, the men who are supporting women and appreciating the efforts women are putting into making this world a better place. The campaign for this year is Give to Gain. In giving, women have to feel appreciated. In fact, it is not just we making statements on the floor. A lot of effort has to come from this house to the entire nation that we need to support women and women's activities. The caregiving role of women takes a toll on women. It takes a toll on our education, our careers, and all other things that we do to bring productivity to this nation. But that is the less appreciated role of women. It is mostly the unpaid labor of women. And so most often you will have people asking women, what do you bring to the table? In fact, without even counting the things we bring to the table, we can enumerate by just looking at a woman the many things that the woman is contributing. And when a woman puts herself up for election or nomination or appointment, then you find people asking their qualification and whether they are capable of occupying the seat or whatever position they desire to take on. Truth be told, it's as if the day a woman is born, that woman is put in the classroom to learn about leadership. I believe as a nation, knowing how culturally women have been brought up, it is not time for us to be asking whether any woman is capable of occupying any position. And on this note, I want to also acknowledge the desire and aspiration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama when he said that it is his desire to see and his hope to see a woman ascend to the highest position of this nation that has become a president. It's like a reward for all the hard work women put in. And in this house, respectfully, Right Honorable Speaker, may I ask that when a woman puts herself out here, the support that we need, maybe heckling is part of parliamentary activities or proceedings, but please, we are all bound to make mistakes. Let me use the opportunity and this platform to appeal to colleagues that you be a bit charitable to the women who put themselves up to also make sure that our gender, our sex is much more appreciated beyond sitting on chairs and occupying the seats of parliament. Women have now come on board. Men have been there from the beginning. We are not asking you for favors. We are asking you to acknowledge the fact that before we even said the whistle was blown, men had taken the lead because of our cultural and cultural orientation and then socialization. And so as we go forward, give to gain, and as we look for justice, equality for all women and girls, I plead with this House that we look at the issues beyond making statements and beyond words and putting real action to ensure that women benefit. I congratulate every woman everywhere, and don't look down on yourself. Keep rising, and beyond the skies is your limit. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, leadership yields to Reverend.
Very well.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to foremost commend the maker of the statement, Honorable Reverend Helen Adjoa-Antonsu, Member of Parliament for Karachi West constituency, for bringing this very important matter to the fore, and to congratulate all our women across the world, particularly our Ghanaian women and our colleague female MPs of Parliament, for the incredible work they've been doing over the years in ensuring that the world is made a better place. Mr. Speaker, we join the millions around the world, even ahead of 8th of March, to celebrate our women. Indeed, every day is a celebration for our women, but we recognize the 8th of March as recognized by the United Nations to celebrate women. And this year's theme I find very appropriate: rights, justice, action for all women and girls. Mr. Speaker, historically, we know that women have held very prominent roles in society beyond occupying spaces in the kitchen. Our history as Ghanaians cannot be told without the role of Yasantua, a warrior. And we know that in many societies, we have women like Yasantua, whose incredible bravery and courage fought to make changes and made their society better. Today, we have such Yasantuas in our midst. And all they are asking for is not for us to lower the bar for them. They are resilient, they are bold, they are up to the task. But all they are asking is that we give them that equal opportunity, that we remove the barriers and we remove every obstacle and stereotypes that hinder the opportunity of a female from rising to the maximum heights that they can become, to actually maximize their potentials and to contribute to societal building. We want to pay tributes, glowing tributes, to all our incredible women, that in the interest of time, all our members of parliament, female members of parliament, past and present, of the first and so far the only Speaker of Parliament, female Speaker of Parliament, Justice Akoto Banfo, all our past Chief Justices, female Chief Justices, who, from Leadership Wood to Sufar Kufu and to Justice Gertrude Tokunu, and the current female Vice President that we have, Her Excellency Professor Jinana Opoku-Agyeman, all the past and 7 chairpersons of the Electoral Commission who have played an incredible role. Mr. Speaker, today, for the first time, we have Chief Fire Officer who's a female, Mrs. Daniela Mawusi Into Sapon. We have the Director General of Prisons for the first time, who's a female, Mrs. Patience Bafubodi, lawyer, who is doing incredible work, Director of Prisons. So we want to encourage our women, and we want the world to know that we have very competent women who are able to rise up to the occasion and who are shattering glass ceilings, and their inspirational stories making way, inspiring girls to know that they have important place around the table. We don't want to restrict women only to the traditional rules. One could agree said that educate a man, you educate one person. But you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation. That holds true. Because even studies has revealed that any time in a society where women are given the opportunity to education, right to education, it is very unlikely that their children will be out of school. And that society is empowered. So talking about rights, Mr. Speaker, rights to education, right to opportunities, equal right to opportunities, and the implementation of free SHS, we saw just about 4 or 5 years into it that we have been able to achieve as a nation a gender parity of 1 in our secondary schools. What that means is that in every secondary school where you find 100 boys, you find 100 girls. An incredible achievement, a stride collectively we all made. From the past, where wherever you found 100 boys, you are likely to find only 60 or 70 boys. When we talk only 60 or 70 girls, we want to single out also the incredible performance of Manfe girls, Methodist girls, senior high school in Manfe. In 2021, for the second time, they went to the world stage and won global robotics competition, beating over 5,000 teams from across the world. Many of them were boys. On 2 occasions, these were girls. You go to Efiakobi girls in Ashanti region, young girls are consistently able to bring out inventions. They have invented a unmanned boat that has collaborated with the Ghana Navy. They can deploy it to the sea, to water, to do surveillance, and even if there are some bodies underwater in times of disaster, they can go and rescue. We want they've also designed an unmanned drone that is able to do surveillance. It flies an aeroplane, it flies and it lands right here in our country. These are incredible things done by females. And so we want to cite some of these to inspire our women that your best days are definitely not behind you, but are ahead of you. And in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, on justice, It is so sad that we haven't offered our women enough justice for us to sit down as a nation and forcefully and unjustly remove Justice Gertrude Tokonu as Chief Justice of this Republic is one that is unpardonable and smacks in the face of what we are pursuing. But lastly, on action, let us remove the barriers and let us grant opportunity for many women to contribute meaningfully to societal building, nation building, and our collective economic pursuits. I thank you.
Well, statements are not to generate debate. It is on that note that I'll ask the Hansard Department to expunge forceful removal of Gertrude Tokonu from the record as if it does not exist. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think we still have more women on our side in the chamber. So leadership will seat two Honorable Soa, Deputy Minister for
we are
Local
trying to approbate and reprobate at the same time. You said we should take 2-2.
Mr. Speaker, I think we have gone beyond that. So I'm just pleading that on leadership side, she concludes for leadership.
Very well. You have the floor.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to commend the maker of the statement on the International Women's Day. That's the 8th of March, Honourable Ajua Helen Ntoso. She's been at the forefront of championing women's agenda as well in this parliament. Mr. Speaker, year after year, we celebrate the International Day of Women. Are we making progress? Are we moving forward? Are we getting the needed support? This year's theme, rights, justice, action for all women and girls. And we say, give to gain. And so, Mr. Speaker, as we celebrate this, we are talking about rights, we are talking about justice, we are talking about action. Because if we are given the rights and then justice for all, including women, and then there is action. Action meaning that the women will also be at the forefront to ensure that we will stand up tall to push the women agenda. I also want to commend our honorable our honorable Minister for Gender for the good work she's doing at the Ministry of Tourism. Mr. Speaker, Ministry of Gender. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to go far, but when we look around us in this parliament, we have the women who are excelling and who have excelled. I would mention Honorable Zuera Ibrahima, Honorable Ablajifa Gomashi, Minister for Tourism, Honorable Doyo Kujo Ganza, the Women's Caucus Leader in Parliament, Honorable Senator Ajiman Rawlings, among others. There is a lot we are doing for Mother Ghana in our constituencies and in our ministries as well. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, we have 14% women in this parliament. And time in and time out, we go for elections. Most of the time, women are pushed on the side by our male counterparts. We are not saying they shouldn't contest us, but we are saying that they should give us the needed support, that when a woman is excelling, let us give to gain. That is, to bring the woman on board to gain more for our nation. Mr. Speaker, when we look at the female MMDCs, that is the Metropolitan Municipal District Chief Executives, we have 29 women, which is woefully inadequate. And sometimes it is about making sure that we push the women down there to come up. At the assembly level, the women are not there. At the unit committee level, they are not there. What do we do to bring them up? We need to mentor them, make proper mentorship arrangements to ensure that we are able to bridge this gap where the women are found wanting. And if you're a woman also watching and listening, let us come together to ensure that as we hold the door open, other women can come into it. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I had the opportunity to attend a program at the Australian High Commission. It was about International Women's Day. And this young lady said, sometimes the women want to move up there, but there are certain barriers that deter them. For instance, you get to a point, you have to go through certain things, which I wouldn't want to mention on the floor of Parliament. And so when you get to that point, you wouldn't want to go further if you do not have the needed mentorship, someone to push you on. Mr. Speaker, on the floor of this Parliament, a woman rises to speak. Though heckling is part of our proceedings here, sometimes the heckling is not good enough. We go as far as even on social media to make mockery of that woman. It is not easy to rise up here to speak. And so, therefore, we need the needed support from our colleagues here, even as we go out. Mr. Speaker, I would want to also speak about the women in agriculture. Sometimes access to land, access to facilities to enable them ply their activity very well. Sometimes it's very difficult. As well as the women traders who even go in to buy the agricultural produce. We hear of them being robbed along the way and their money is taken from them. What are some of the measures we can put in as a parliament to ensure that women are aided, women are supported? Mr. Speaker, with the MMDCs, as I mentioned, we have only 2 female MMDCs in Greater Accra. That is the Tema Mayor and the Adenta Chief Executive. As the affirmative action law is in place, we would urge all authorities, all political parties,
Minister, conclude.
all political parties, all in authority to ensure that we bring women on board, women who are capable, and we are out there, we are ready to work, and we are ready to move other women along and move our nation forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On this note, I wish every woman from the Dadekotopon constituency to the Salaga constituency a happy International Women's Day. May God bless us all. Thank you.
Honourable members, that brings us to the end of comment on the statement on International Women's Day celebration. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader. I think we move to item number 10.
Mr. Speaker, you talk of item number 10, so we are going to continue with revert back to doing the debate.
That is the item number 10, that this House thanks His Excellency the President of the Republic for the message and the state of the nation.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Yes. So we'll revert back to the debate on the message.
Very well. Yesterday, we started from my left side, so today we have to start from the right. I proceed to give the floor to Honorable Peter Nochu Kotui. Timekeepers, he is speaking for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the State of the Nation address delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. And before I do that, Mr. Speaker, I want to wish my own wife and all women in this house. Mr. Speaker, I also want to wish Her Excellency Lordina a happy International Women's Day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I have done that already. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me say that His Excellency the President, when he appeared before this House last Friday, spoke with confidence. The confidence that gave many Ghanaians hope for the future. And there is no gainsaying more than to say that his presence, his presentation is a real manifestation of the research agenda. Mr. Speaker, I want to limit myself to education. But before I do that, let me use this opportunity also to thank His Excellency the President for delivering on his promise that in the second year of his administration, he will make sure that the whole Denu Road would be reconstructed. And as we speak now, there's serious construction work going on there. Mr. Speaker, unlike those days when we had a year of roads and the whole Denu Road appeared, but it was never reconstructed, And Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the people of Akati North, we want to thank His Excellency the President for fulfilling that promise. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the basic education as we have it in now, there are major challenges, and it is on record that these challenges are being addressed. One of them is about infrastructure. We have many schools still under trees in this country. But as a government directive given to the district assemblies, I am aware, and it is true, that every district is to construct at least 2 basic school infrastructure this year. And if every district is able to do that, then we're going to have at least 522 basic school infrastructure constructed across the country. And if a GET fund also does is 200 for 6 unit classroom blocks, 200 for KG blocks, then we're going to have at least 1,000 school blocks every year. And Mr. Speaker, you imagine 1,000 school blocks, new school blocks being constructed every year. Within the next 4 or 5 years, we should be able to eliminate schools under trees in this country. Mr. Speaker, one significant achievement is also the payment of all arrears of capitation grants that this government inherited from the previous government. It is on record that the Ministry of Education was owing schools in this country much capitation grant, but as we speak, government is up to date on the payment of capitation grant to all schools in this country. So also is BEC registration. Mr. Speaker, during the last parliament, you will remember that as a member of the Education Committee, we had to speak before funds were released to West African Examinations Council to organize the BECE. There was even a time in 2024 that WAEC was going to postpone the conduct of the BECE. But Mr. Speaker, but for the intervention of the Education Committee and Parliament, we were able to avert that disaster. So going forward, Mr. Speaker, I can say on authority that government does not owe WAEC on the payment of BEC registration. So also is that of WASE. So also is for the senior high school examination, which we call WASE. There is a dedicated funding for WASE this time, and GET Fund is responsible for it. And as we speak, payment has been made for the 2026 WASE. What again do we need? So we want to assure Ghanaians that after education, everything is on course. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the basic level again, there is expansion in the school feeding program. It is on record that before this government took office, the school feeding program was bedeviled with corruption. I can say on authority again that, Mr. Speaker, in my constituency, a school which had 120 enrollments, records show that it had 270 students being fed under the school feeding program. And that was across the district, and I am sure it was also across the entire country. Mr. Speaker, by eliminating those corrupt practices, more pupils are now enjoying the school feeding program with even quality food, because with the increment in the feeding fee and also making sure that locally produced foods are used in feeding the students, the nutrition level has gone up very much. Mr. Speaker, furniture has been the major problem facing basic schools in this country. You will go to some schools and you will realize that students lie on the floor to write. I can tell you that, Mr. Speaker, government is taking efforts to eliminate this canker in our basic schools. So we need to thank His Excellency the President for making sure that allocation of about 200 million from GET Fund is going to be used for the construction or provision of furniture for basic schools. And that this assembly is also going to make sure that 10% of their funds are used to procure furniture for basic schools. And we are going forward. Mr. Speaker, Yesterday, one member made a comment on the licensure examination from the other side about licensure examination. The promise government made, or the NDC made, was that they were going to make it part of the curriculum for colleges of education. So those who left colleges already would have to take the examination, because they will not go back to college, study under the curriculum, and then write the examination. So until that is done, they must write the examination so that they can get the license to be employed as teachers. So I want to correct that misrepresentation by the other member from the other side, that we promised that we will eliminate licensure examination, but we have not done it. This is the truth on the matter.
Deputy Speaker will take the chair.
Mr. Speaker, if you come to allowances for colleges of education students, government has directed that the payment of the allowances should be regulated. What it means is that it's now being paid directly by the Controller and Accountant General Departments. So everything, not that students will be paid on the table or money is paid to anybody to be given to students. Now they are on government payroll, and that is what is being done now for students of colleges of education. So as soon as workers receive their salaries, students also receive their allowances as well. They will not have to wait for 3-4 months, and even the allowances will not come. So the system has changed, and students are receiving their allowances through Controller and Accountant General Department. Mr. Speaker, the President also announced that new universities will be created in the newly established regions of the country. So at least 5 universities are going to be established, 3 technical universities and 2 other universities, to make sure that qualified students can gain admission to universities going forward. What is important is that, Mr. Speaker, we all need to support His Excellency the President so that he can achieve his objectives for education in this country. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let me now turn to Honorable Dr. Ayu Efriye. Honorable, you are ranking. You have 10 minutes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I rise to comment on the State of the Nation's address. Mr. Speaker, before I do so, I would want us to put some figures into perspective. It will be in the form of correction, but the Hansa Department, I'm ready to give, after this presentation, the balanced position of the NHIA, and I want it to be captured so there's no politics on social health insurance financing in this country. Mr. Speaker, in the presentation of the President, indeed, I would want to quote Mr. Speaker, the President stated that, and I quote, claims payments are now timed with facilities no longer waiting more than half a year for payments. Mr. Speaker, there has not been delays in payments, and there is no day that was inherited by the new government since 2025. Mr. Speaker, as of 7 January 2025, the NHIA had a positive balance of 1 billion. Mr. Speaker, as of then, they had paid providers up to October. Conventionally, Mr. Speaker, providers would wait up to 3 months before claims are paid. Mr. Speaker, as based upon this convention, as of January 7th, all payments of providers in this country, October, has been done. Now, it was for them to submit November, and that would take processing of December, January, and for them to be paid in February. Mr. Speaker, so I don't know why the president made this statement. And it must be put right that as of January 7, there was no delays in provider payments in this country. Again, the NHI inherited a positive balance of 1 billion. And that is what they used to pay claims of November, December, January, and February, Mr. Speaker. Payments are roughly about 220 million. So when you calculate payments of 220 million for 4 months, all the payments the NDC did last year for November, December, January, February were monies that they inherited in the positive balance of the NHIA. And I am going to tender in the balanced position of the NHIA as of January 31st, 2025, so that we kill this mischief once and for all. You did not inherit a poor position from the NHIA, and there were no delays in provider payments. Again, Mr. Speaker, another terrible blunder, again, that if it's not corrected, it sends pain to the heart of the many youths who have not been employed, and that of the son and daughter of the cocoa farmer who has not been employed as well. Mr. Speaker, the president again in his statement stated that, and I would want to quote, at the beginning of 2025, 103,000 trained health workers were still awaiting placements, employment, or enrollment on the payroll. Over the past year, 13,500 nurses and midwives, along with hundreds of doctors and pharmacists, were absorbed. Mr. Speaker, these 13,500 recruits were inherited by a clearance that was issued by the MPP government. It was not even 13,500. Mr. Speaker, it was 15,400. Again, I will tender the document for the purpose of this House and for the Hansa Department to capture. You inherited a clearance of 15,400, and you decide to put them on the payroll. However, Ghanaians listening to me, I would want you to know that the taxpayer, and of course that of the cocoa farmer, your child was not employed in 2025. Neither did they make any allocation in the budget to employ nurses and allied health workers for 2026, and that is shameful. Mr. Speaker, all the nurses and the pharmacists and the allied workers and medical laboratory technicians who are at home, hear me out. This government did not make a budget for you in 2025, neither have they made a budget for you in 2026. Mr. Speaker, just as the cocoa farmer is struggling, and cocoa farmer for Omaye Mabo, Mr. Speaker, Omaye Mabo. Yeah, Mr. So, me a cocoa farmer, Maya Mabo, to wait. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please.
To wait.
The heckle
I am
is too much.
sensitive on the issues of cocoa farmers.
Honorable members.
Because, Mr. Speaker, the name AU is a Mampo Equiapim name, which was that of my great-grandfather who commercialized cocoa farming. Before the onset of Cocoa Board, Opeyeyu was the one who was the chairman of the Cocoa Farmers Union of Ghana, who always sent cocoa to England to pay and came to pay. So I am a bona fide, a loyalist, and a protege or a descendant of a great cocoa farmer, Opeyeyu, of Mampo Equiapim. Mr. Speaker, I'm not happy the way they are treating cocoa farmers. And the cocoa farmers' children are either not being employed. Many of them are nurses. Mr. Speaker, as I speak, last year, the nurses who were not employed, the new ones, were 20,000. Mr. Speaker, those of 2025 will complete their licensure in June, and there will be another 20,000. Mr. Speaker, normally, all these new ones are about 20,000. So the more the NDC refused to bring a supplementary budget that would inherit and clear all these people, this backlog, there will be every year 20 more thousand of nursing people being produced. Mr. Speaker, where are we going as a country? Where are we going as a country? We are putting pains in the heart of the Ghanaian nurses. Mr. Speaker, I have not even spoken about pharmacists. There are over 20,000 pharmacists, and they churn almost about 8,000 each year. There was no clearance for them. But before last year, each year, they were all being employed. But it was a backlog. Mr. Speaker, it was a backlog. Mr. Speaker, as of last year, as of 2024, the NPP government employed those of 2020. Mr. Speaker, 2020. So as of 2025, they should have employed the 2021. And that will not be only nurses, pharmacists, medical laboratory, physiotherapists, and all of them. Mr. Speaker, there's no future, there's no hope for this youth. Each and every one of you listening to me, your family, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, all of them, since last year, there is no recruitment. The politics here is using the MPP's clearance of 2024. Although they were putting them on that payroll because the money was sitting there, they give the impression that they were being recruited. There was no recruitment in 2025, and there is no recruitment in 2026. Mr. Speaker, the supplementary budget of this government should include that of nurses and allied health workers. For once, listen and hear them out. Mr. Speaker, today, Joseph Opata, who is the president of the nurses who failed, there are about 6,000 of them who failed in 2020, and they were to be employed. Mr. Speaker, today, he's selling aboboya and repairing it. My fear is this: many of these skilled workers, when they stay home for long, they lose their skills. They lose their skills, and that is the problem. So are you going to be quiet so we churn 20,000 of nurses every year, and they sit home engaging themselves as of, so here, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the statement, it says, we inherited, it's not true, we inherited 103,000. Mr. Speaker, they did inherited only about 60,000. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, source is clear. Mr. Speaker, 60,000. They inherited 60,000, and these were this. 20,000 of 2021, 20,000 of 2022, 20,000 of 2023. Today, they have added 20,000 of 2024, 20,000 of 2025. And you sit there. In June, we are going to add another 20,000, which means that in 2 years,
Thank you, Dr. Ayu. Thank you, Dr. Ayu. You've been bailed out. So let me now turn to Honorable James Agaga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You are the chairman of a committee, and therefore you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Ishmael Norman, a renowned security analyst and a disaster management expert, when called upon to assess the performance of President Mahama vis-à-vis the performance of President Akufo-Addo in his last 2 years in government, scored as follows. President Mahama, 7.5 over 10. President Akufo-Addo, 1.2 over 10. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Ishmael Norman, in arriving at his conclusion,
see, immediately he came out with that figures, Reverend just popping.
So, Mr. Speaker, 7.5 over 10 versus 1.2 over 10. Those were the scores of Dr. Ishmael Norman. Now, who is Dr. Ishmael Norman? He's neither MPP nor NDC. In fact, if Reverend Intim Fojo had been asked to score President Akufo-Addo, one would say his MPP and therefore would be biased. Mr. Speaker, in similar light, if you were to ask Agalga to score President Mahama and I scored him, you'd say because I am NDC, I am being biased. But Dr. Ishmael Norman is a professional par excellence, well respected. Those were the scores. So I proceed on the premises of Dr. Ishmael Norman's scores. Mr. Speaker, President Mahama in his message on the state of the nation indicated that 3 brand new airports are going to be built. One would be built in Sunyani to serve the former Bono and Ahafu regions. In fact, the current airport is no longer fit for purpose. We can't expand or extend the runway. And so President Mahama has decided that we give those 2 regions a brand new airport. Similarly, the people of Upper West also deserve a brand new airport because the airport there now is not fit for purpose. When aircraft take off, Mr. Speaker, they violate Burkina Faso's airspace. So President Mahama says, let us give them a brand new airport. Mr. Speaker, my own region, when I am traveling to my constituency and land in Tamale, I have to drive for 4 hours before I get to Sandema, the capital of my constituency. President Mahama says enough of the suffering. We have endured a lot, so the Upper East for the first time would also be given a brand new airport. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me talk about security, which is my field. And Mr. Speaker, Dr. Norman made a quick scan of the security landscape in arriving at the scores that I alluded to in my earlier presentation. Now, the President spoke about CI 129, and yesterday I heard my brother, the Defense Minister. He knows I will respond to him. That is why he's not here today, Mr. Speaker. He made a desperate attempt to defend his record. But, Mr. Speaker, that record is simply not defensible. We were in this House when CI 129 was passed. And what is the purpose of CI 129? Mr. Speaker, it was meant to prolong the service of the other ranks from 25 years to 30 years. I recall at the time of the passage of CI 129, I spoke out extensively against it and said, look, the rationale behind the promulgation of the CI was not well thought through. Why did I say that? You are talking about a CI which envisages the enhancement of the pay, the gratuities of other ranks to the exclusion of special duty commissioned officers and officers of the armed forces. Do you now see how discriminatory that CI was? And that is why from that time onwards, 2020, we've had issues with its implementation because it is discriminatory. In fact, Article 17 of our Constitution is very clear. That is why the Military High Command had issues with the implementation of that particular CI, which is why President Mahama, the Commander-in-Chief of our armed forces, made it clear that the discriminatory character of that CI must be addressed. The issues outstanding have now been resolved, and so all the personnel of the armed forces, special duty commissioned officers, and other ranks would all be compensated in an equitable manner. And so if Dominic Nituwe were here, I would have pointed it out to him that when I warned him that they were rushing in passing the CI because of the 2020 elections, I would have told him that the chicken has now come home to roost. Yes. But Mr. Speaker, he's fled, so I would reserve further comments on that particular subject. But Mr. Speaker, let me address issues raised by my brother and ranking member, Reverend Intim Fojo. Reverend Intim Fojo says there is insecurity in our country because 8 of our compatriots were killed in Burkina Faso. Mr. Speaker, let me address my brother directly. Burkina Faso is a country with territories well defined in international law. Ghana's security apparatus cannot cross over boundaries, borders, and provide for the security of our nationals in that country. Mr. Speaker, we are not the United States of America. We are not. And so when Ghanaians And let me extend my condolence to our compatriots, the 8 of them who lost their lives. But when Ghanaians cross borders into foreign jurisdictions, their safety and security becomes the sole responsibility of the security apparatus of that country. And so, Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making is that our security apparatus did not do anything wrong. In fact, when our compatriots died and some wounded, our security apparatus, with the cooperation of the Burkinabés, actually rescued. They did medical evacuation, and we should be commending our Air Force. The Kasa flew to Ouagadougou and brought back the wounded, some of whom are now receiving treatment at the 37 Military Hospital. So, Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect to my brother, the ranking member, Etim Fojo, our security apparatus is up to the task. We have worked to ensure that no single incident of terrorism has taken place or will take place in our country. Those are the words I have for him. With respect to the terror attacks in our waters, Mr. Speaker, pirates are pirates. They would attack. But the problem is, after the attack, we are looking at the response, the reaction of our security forces. Did we react or not? We did. In fact, there was a hot pursuit for those pirates. They were chased and they fled. Our Navy acted in coordination with our Air Force. Our fighter jets were in the sky. Our ships were on our waters. The pirates had to retreat very quickly for their dear lives. Mr. Speaker, thereafter, we were able to rescue all the affected fishermen. 71, not a single soul was lost. We should be full of commendation for our security forces, the Air Force and the Navy, which is why our president has indicated in the message on the state of the nation that we would continue to equip and to retool the security services. The other day, Reverend Ntim Fojo indicated that when they brought an agreement before this House for the acquisition of 2 offshore patrol vessels, we opposed it. Mr. Speaker, the Hansard would bear me out. We never opposed the acquisition of the 2 offshore patrol vessels. In fact, the minister who led the agreement before this House was the same minister who would do it. The same minister would do it because he himself was concerned that we needed to do due diligence, and so he didn't want to be fingered. We're close to the election. He didn't want to be fingered after the election, as if he knew his party was going to lose, and actually they lost. They deserved the defeat that they themselves recorded. And so, Mr. Speaker, we would bring back that same agreement, and when we bring it back, it would go down in our records that it is this government, President Mohammed's government, which acquired the 2 offshore patrol vessels for our Navy. 5 additional aircraft are about to be purchased. 5! This is unprecedented. It is unprecedented. 5 aircraft at the same time. So, Mr. Speaker, the President deserves the scores Dr. Ishmael Norman gave him. I could say more, but I'm told my time is up. Let me conclude.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend James. Thank you, James. Thank you, James. Honorable members, from James Agaga, the security expert, I would now move to another security expert. Honorable Kofi Amankwamenu. Unfortunately, you will have 5 minutes, not 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr.
They said deputies are 5 minutes. Yes, but I'll add 1 minute to him, so please time him 6 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity
to comment on the State of the Nation address as presented by His Excellency the President. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by congratulating the President for being honest enough to admit to the fact that the fight against Galamsey has become complex. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President sometimes speaks as if he's never occupied the office he's occupying today. During his tenure as president for the first time, Galamsey was well alive. What did he do? To the extent that the issue of Galamsey was used as a political campaign tool. We were told that within 3 months, a new NDC government will bring to an end the issue of Galamsey. What do we see today? It is obvious from what is happening that His Excellency the President has thrown his hands into disrepair. Am I right? Into despair. Precisely. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, today our forests are being destroyed. Our water bodies are being destroyed. What is that telling you? What is happening, Mr. Speaker, is that the zeal to fight Galamsey is simply gone. We've lost it. We have lost it. There have been incidents where appointees of the government are deep in the Galamsey issue. Nobody is bringing them to book. Fellow colleagues, let our president know that Ghana is at the brink of perishing, and as a leader, he must care. It is very worrisome. Mr. Speaker, it is very laughable when my colleague and friend, the Honorable Agaga, seek to tell this House that one Dr. Norman has scored 7.5 for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and 1.5 for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That alone should tell you where Dr. Norman stands politically. It cannot be said that the said Dr. Norman is neutral. He cannot be neutral. He is not neutral. He is indeed an NDC activist. And our colleague must know. Mr. Speaker, is it not worrisome that for the first time in our history, we can have pirates coming as close as within 30 nautical miles of our waters, approximately 45 kilometers, having a field day to the extent of abducting our compatriots? Is that not worrisome? It is very worrisome. And Mr. Speaker, sometimes I ask, where did we get here? And how did we get here? My colleague alluded to the fact that when a contract was brought to this House, it had to be withdrawn. Mr. Speaker, when the contract was brought to this House, I sat right there. And in fact, at the mere mention of that contract, our colleagues rejected with an emphatic no that we will not buy those equipment. Those are the OPVs. These OPVs have long endurance, stay on sea, and they have firepower. It is wrong and erroneous for my friend to say that pirates are pirates, and so they can strike at any time. Yes, pirates are pirates. They can strike at any time. But it is a responsibility of our leadership to prepare against any eventuality or attack from any pirate. We sat, Mr. Speaker, to the extent that 50 of our fisher folks were abducted. For me, the fear here is that this is going to have a negative impact on our fishing communities. Now, fisher folks, when they have to go to sea, we always have to be looking over their shoulders. Why would they have to do that? Because they don't know, as my colleague said, pirates are pirates, and so they can strike at any time. They are not safe, and so they will be looking over their shoulders for the next pirate to strike. We cannot do that. Mr. Speaker, we have 8 Ghanaians perishing in Burkina Faso, and my colleague is saying that we do not have control over what happens to Ghanaians in a foreign land. Yes, their security will be in the hands of the security agencies of wherever they will be. But Mr. Speaker, this is the first time, the very first time, that Ghanaians transacting business in Burkina have been killed. This is the first time. And I believe that calls for a very proper investigation into why the very first time Ghanaians have been killed. Hitherto, Mr. Speaker, when vehicles bearing Ghanaians' numbers were seen in Burkina, they were treated differently. Why are Ghanaians being treated differently now? Is the question we need to ask ourselves. Mr. Speaker, the issue of corruption is very worrisome. That today, His Excellency is telling us that it's going to strengthen the fight against corruption. How can we fight against corruption when we hide behind non-prosecutor?
Thank you.
How can we do that?
Thank you. Thank you, Kofi. Thank you, Kofi. So let me now turn to Honorable Mohammed S. Abdul Khalid.
Mr. Speaker, he's not here. Let's move on.
So if he's not ready...
He's not ready. He has run away. He's not ready.
If he's not ready... Honorable, he wants to take the slot.
No. Speaker, so we'll give to Ms. Bao. Ms. Bao is next. So we alternate the position in the ranking.
Who?
Honorable Ms. Bao.
Yes.
Yes.
Is he here?
Yes, he's here.
Which number?
That's number 4. Ms. Bao.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So, Honorable, you have 5 minutes. You see, what's the whip saying?
Saying that
my brother, let me hear you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to add my voice to the multitude of honorable members who have already expressed their opinions on the State of the Nation address ably delivered by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to commend highly His Excellency the President for such... Mr. Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to commend highly His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for such an impressive and fact-based address. Indeed, the statement was reassuring, it was inspiring, and again, it gave hope to the ordinary citizen. Mr. Speaker, I want to quote an old saying that says, "An old woman is always uneasy when dry bones are mentioned in a proverb." This reflects the current state of the minority. Indeed, they are very uncomfortable and dangerously afraid at the precision with which the NDC government is managing the economy. For instance, Mr. Speaker, when we take the primary balance of the economy, the primary balance, something that measures, the primary balance, it measures, Mr. Speaker, the primary balance, it measures how prudent a government is able to manage an interest expenditure as against total revenue in a particular period. And I must commend the government who were able to achieve a 2.6% as against a target of 1.5% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, the MPP were able to only manage a 3.6 deficit negative when they were in government.
This showed how recklessly our economy was managed. They were only able to borrow at the least provocation to fund recurrent expenditure, carry out the private sector in the process. Mr. Speaker, the overall benefit of all this is that the NDC government was able to reduce the public debt to 45% of GDP as against what was handed over to us at 61.8%. This boosted Ghana's creditworthiness and increased investor confidence of our economy. Mr. Speaker, reputable rating agencies such as Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's all could not help but applaud the government and upgraded our ratings. Mr. Speaker, what did we see Yanum did? They left our economy in a junk status, an economy placed under an ICU. Mr. Speaker, the average Ghanaian, I can now say, walking in the street, has money in his pocket. Why do I say so, Mr. Speaker? The NDC government, for the 1 year that we have been in power, was able to reduce inflation to 3.8% as at close of January 2026, against a 23.8% that was handed to us in December 2024. Mr. Speaker, signaling predictability and stability in prices, allowing the average Ghanaian to be able to plan his affairs at ease or with ease. Mr. Speaker, this is no mean achievement. Indeed, this is the 13th consecutive month that we have seen a decline. It is indeed unprecedented.
Excellent.
Mr. Speaker, we're in this country when the previous government brought in a wild animal known as PFG, that's Planting for Food and Jobs. What did we see, Mr. Speaker? After sinking in a total of $6 billion into that project, what did we see? Again, the same government spent a colossal $342 million importing only rice into the country in 2023 alone. What did we see? This further aggravated the situation of the economy, and we ended up at that time, the MPP government, with an inflation of 54.1%. Mr. Speaker, it is not surprising that the MPP government, or the MPP, our minority, they've now shifted the goalposts to say that we are not going to chop inflation. But need I remind them that when inflation is managed well, there's price stability, and the average Ghanaian out there is now able to buy fuel at 10 cedi per litre instead of the 15.2 they handed down to us before leaving power. Mr. Speaker, this is clearly huge savings that the ordinary Ghanaians is enjoying out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me now turn to Honorable John Darko. Honorable John Darko. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Honorable John Darko, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity given to me to comment on the President's statement to the House. Mr. Speaker, the President last Friday was supposed to deliver the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I sat here for close to about 2 hours. I listened to His Excellency the President, but, Mr. Speaker, I didn't get a sense that the President was talking about the state of our nation. I did not get the impression. And so in this short period, Mr. Speaker, I remind Mr. President, is bothering our nation is the issue of Galamsey. Galamsey is illegal mining activity which is ravaging our forests and water bodies. Mr. Speaker, the President had a very good opportunity to tell the people of Ghana the state of the fight against Galamsey and how his administration was going to stop it. But having listened to the President, I realized that the President failed in this regard. One of the issues that is coming up in the Galamsey problem is the issue of cyanidation of Galamsey. That is an issue that the president was supposed to tackle. Now the illegal mining operators use cyanide in order to be able to get more gold from the oil. This cyanidation of Galamsey, Mr. Speaker, is the single most dangerous thing happening to our environment. But Mr. President didn't address us on that. Mr. Speaker, on page 13 of the President's State of the Nation address, this is what he told the people of Ghana. He said, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, by formalizing gold exports, we have increased recorded exports in the artisanal and small-scale mining sector from 63.6 to 103 tons and channeled foreign exchange into our economy. Mr. Speaker, this is a president who is prioritizing illegal mining over the health and the future of the citizens of this country. This is an administration that believes that getting gold from illegal mining, exporting gold from illegal mining is better than protecting our forests, is better than protecting our forest reserve. Mr. Speaker, no wonder the assemblies where the president has put his representatives are collecting taxes from Galamsey operators. Mr. Speaker, this assertion is corroborated by Joy FM's report. There's a Joy FM report which shows that the DCEs, the MCEs that the president has appointed are collecting taxes, and it's called taxes from illegal mining operators. This is the state of our nation, Mr. Speaker. This is a president who is encouraging illegality. This is the state of our nation. Mr. Speaker, the president had the opportunity to tell us how he's going to fight this Galamsey by ensuring that our borders are not as porous as they are. Mr. Speaker, in this country, those who are engaging in illegal mining are not only Ghanaians.
Honorable, hold on. Yes, Honorable Majority Chief Whip. I thought we would not be interjecting.
Protozwa. Speaker, my brother, my roommate, my friend John Daku, he knows that.
Is your roommate?
Yes. We were roommates in law school. So we are brothers, we are not friends. And he knows that the content of a member's contribution shouldn't attract controversy. It shouldn't. To say, and shouldn't generate debate, to say that the president is encouraging Galamsey is untenable. You can make your point, but don't be that exactitude. Don't be that exactitude, because if I put you to street proof, you will not be able to. And he knows. He's my brother. So, John, you know how we do it. Safe land. In any case, your time is up. Conclude.
He's just calling you not to be exactitude.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. So, Mr. Speaker, the president is supposed to ensure that our borders are protected. Our borders, Mr. Speaker, has become so porous that the illegal mining operators in our country mostly are not Ghanaians. They are either from Burkina Faso or Ivory Coast or Togo. This is the state of our nation, where foreigners are ravaging our forests, where foreigners are destroying our water bodies. This is the state of the nation the president was supposed to tell us. Mr. Speaker, the hard-working Ghanaians, when at the end of the month he's going to the bank, he's expecting some good sums of money. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable John Daku, I give you 1 minute in addition. Honorable John Daku, I give you 1 minute just for nowadays it's automatic. Your time, once it gets up, it's so I give you 1 minute, please.
I'm saying that in this country, the Mr. Speaker, the state of our nation is that the minimum wage, okay, is 21.77 cedis a day. It's the lowest in the sub-region. That is the state of our nation. Mr. Speaker, the state of our nation is that our cocoa farmers are now selling their lands to illegal mining operators so that they can make money because the president is not paying them. That is the state of our nation. Mr. Speaker, unemployment has become the bane of the Ghanaian youth. People are looking for jobs, they are not getting it. That is the state of the nation. The president promised 133. He said that when it comes into government, he's going to ensure that every Ghanaian was going to get a job. And that one job will be done, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. The people.
Thank you very much, Honorable John Darko. Honorable members, before I call the next debater, indulge me to introduce our guests at the public gallery. Well, the first school is Lizales School Complex. Lizales School Complex. Where are they? They are being led by Georgina Asante, who is a teacher, and the school is located in the Shai Osudoko constituency. They are 65 in number. The second school is Savior of All Schools. Savior of All Schools. And they are being led by Linda Kwashi, who is the head teacher. And the school is located at Wassa East constituency. Wassa East. Who is the MP? Wassa East constituency. They are 26 in number. And the last but not the least is National Hairdressers Association. National Hairdressers Association. They are being led by Diana Ubiba and Stephanie Amoa. They are presidents, and the school or the association is located in the Kuyapem South constituency. Kuyapem South constituency. Yes. That's the honorable member. Very well. So you are all welcome. And we wish you a pleasant stay in Parliament. Thank you. So we will turn to Honorable Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan. Honorable Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan. Then we will turn to Honorable Richie Jan. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't see you. Oh, my brother from Yendi. Come again. Yes, I did. In fact, I didn't watch there. I'm sorry. My brother from Yendi. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, let my whip announce his presence.
My friend he made a point that the honorable member is actually on their side. It's a needless point to make. The speaker knows that he's on your side. We acknowledge you've increased your numbers. But Speaker, I want him to know that it's just a question of time. Especially now that cocoa farmers are getting very disappointed in them. It's just a question of time. Speaker, it's just a question of time.
It's just a question of time. Speaker, I agree with my brother that he just returned from several cocoa farms within the Eastern Enclave. But why Mobodudu? Why Mobodudu? So he's welcome.
Yes. My brother from Yendi.
Thank you so much.
My brother, let me hear you. You have 5 minutes.
Thanks so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the message on the State of the Nation address delivered by His Excellency the President last Friday. Mr. Speaker, to start with, I wish to state that if you look at what has been said of late, you hear our colleagues on the other side saying that, yes, the figures are looking good, all the indicators are looking positive, but there's no money in our pockets. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in my constituency, we have the local assembly, that is the municipal assembly, being able to award several contracts to local people in the constituency. Mr. Speaker, 2025 alone, 2 chiefs compounds were awarded, 2 6-unit classroom blocks were awarded, then kindergarten blocks were awarded, and some ongoing projects were even completed. Mr. Speaker, these projects were all awarded to the locals. And if you tell me that these locals will not have money in their pockets, then I don't know what other means can be used to put money in the pockets of Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, right from the onset of this administration, His Excellency announced that 80% of the allocation to district assemblies must really get to the district assemblies. And we can confirm that indeed the district assemblies are getting what is due them. And in fact, these allocations are being channeled to the local people because the contracts are awarded to these local people. Mr. Speaker, I wish to say that today, like the President rightly mentioned, passport production and processing has been fast-tracked. Today, within 15 days of application for passport, you will get it delivered to you. And the good thing about it is that, Mr. Speaker, wherever you are, it can be brought to you. You don't need to actually visit the office to pick your passport. Mr. Speaker, the President also mentioned that we have been able to secure 11 visa waivers for Ghanaians. And so, for 2025 alone, Ghanaians are able to travel to 11 additional countries without the need for visas. Mr. Speaker, if we cannot appreciate this, then what else can we appreciate? Mr. Speaker, on the side of education, the President on Friday did indicate that there has been serious imbalance in our educational sector. That because of the onset of free SHS, which is a very good policy, and which policy we are bettering as we speak, there has been total neglect of the basic education level. And the basic education level provides the entry point for, Mr. Speaker, foundational literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills for our children. And so if we neglect this side, and we concentrate so heavily on the second cycle sector, Mr. Speaker, chances are, by the time the children get to the second cycle education, they would have been so badly handled that even the free SHS cannot cure the damage. Which is why I applaud the President when he stated that he's coming to rebalance the structure and that he's implementing what I will call Agenda 200, 200, 200. Which is to say, Mr. Speaker, that in 2026, we are constructing 200 kindergarten blocks, 200 primary school blocks, and 200 junior high school blocks. This, we believe, will balance the distortion that we have seen over the years through the implementation of the free SHS. Mr. Speaker, we have also been told that if you have met the private universities, one of the biggest problems they have had is to do with charter. The President is committed to abolishing the charter system through a new legislation that will soon be brought to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the last thing I will say is about the decision by the government to move 30 Category C schools to Category B. and 10 category B schools to category A, and then upgrading of category A schools to meet higher standards. Mr. Speaker, we believe that if all this is done, our educational sector will never be the same. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Fatau. Let me now turn to Honorable Nanaji. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion to thank the President for his message on the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, state of the nation is actually, most often than not, the health of the nation, where he has taken the country from and where he is taking the country to. Mr. Speaker, in the State of the Nation address, you could see that there are similarities between the 2025 State of the Nation address and the 2026 State of the Nation address. So there's a troubling reality. Mr. Speaker, the President said in 2025, he promised to reset the economy and place it on a path of growth and prosperity. The same language was echoed in the